Hello everybody, Trevor here, and welcome to another Top 5 video. In the past, I've made videos on the steam team, diesels, narrow gauge engines, rolling stock, non-rail vehicles, and of course, the human characters. But for now, we'll focus on the minimum gauge engines on the Arlesdale Railway. In Sora's Legend of the Lost Treasure, we were introduced to this little railway along with the first three engines, which are Mike, Bert, and Rex. Honestly, when I first saw this reveal back in 2015, I was very excited. It made me hope to see more of them in the future, including those that weren't televised yet. But enough about that, let's get this brand new top 5 started. Number 5 is Jock. Jock is the newest engine of the Arlesdale Railway. When he was first built, he had a cocky personality due to being stronger and more popular than the other engines. But in the end, he learned the importance of teamwork and became more helpful and kind to his friends. He was named Jock by Douglas due to his yellow livery. And he was first introduced in the book The Island of Sodor, Its People, History, and Railways, but didn't get an official illustration until Jock the New Engine, which came out in 1990. And unfortunately, he was the last character to be made into an Ertl model. Not to mention that is his only form of merchandise, so that's why he's number 5. Number 4 is Frank. Although this character may be grumpy, but he still knows the importance of friendship and teamwork. But the real reason why he's number 4 is that he's the only miniature diesel engine to have an illustration from the Railway series. Not to mention that he only has 2 toy lines, which are Ertl and Wooden Railway. And sadly, he, along with Jock, will never be televised as of this time, for obvious reasons. Oh, and one more thing. Frank's basis is Perkins, not to be confused with Mr. Perkins or the restaurant of the same name. I just thought I'd point that out. Number 3, Bert. No, not Iron Bert. I'm talking about the miniature engine of the same name. This guy is the oldest and quietest of the Arlesdale Railway engines. One funny thing I like about his episode, Tit for Tat, is that he doesn't want to be in a moving picture, which caused everyone to laugh. I also like the episode's message that 2 wrongs don't make a right, and that the 2 clergymen apologize to him for their mishap. Oh, and the part where Bert winks at the audience at the very end was very clever, because it's a perfect example of a fourth wall break done right. In terms of his voice, it's okay. I get that he's supposed to sound old, but I wasn't really expecting it to sound nasally like Sir Handel's. I think that voice would fit better for Mike since he's younger than the other 2. But hey, it could have been worse. Also, his wooden railway model is a bit small. I kinda wished it were the same length as Mike's original wooden model from 1998. But aside from those things, I think Bert is a likable character. Even though he doesn't like to be looked down due to his size, but he's still friendly to a lot of bigger engines and other people nonetheless. Oh, and did you know that his base's River Ert had a rebuild in the 1970s? Well, to be fair, I think it's for the best to keep Bert the same as in the books and TV series. That way, he, Mike, and Rex can look the same shape. But that's just me, though. Number 2, Mike. What I love about Mike is that he's just like James, only that he prefers trucks instead of passengers. I also enjoyed his episode Mike's Whistle where he keeps showing off his new whistle to everyone. But when he tries to get a cow to shoo, it blows off like a rocket and lands somewhere in a field. And in my opinion, like Bert's voice, Mike's is alright too. Though I was kind of expecting his voice to sound very similar to James's, but with a West Country accent, because Tim Whitnell's impression sounds a bit similarly to Oliver from the Pack. But oh well, beggars can't be choosers. Now, I was going to put Mike as number 1 due to being the most merchandise engine from the Arlesdale Railway line, but there's one I think deserves it better. But before I get to that, I just want to give a few honorable mentions. The 2 blister diesels and Secret of Arlesdale. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to say Secret of Arlesdale! They were only mentioned in certain books such as The Island of Sodor, Its People, History, and Railways. But hey, at least we already know what they're based on. And the number one spot goes to Rex. I decided to make this guy number one because out of all the voices in the CGI series, I consider Tom Stewarton, or whatever I pronounce his last name, the best voice for the character. There's just something about his voice that makes it well suited. In part 3 of my top 25 Andrew Brenner episodes list, I made the number one spot a three-way tie of Tit for Tat, Mike's Whistle, and Useful Railway because they were originally written by the Reverend Wilbur Awdry himself. In fact, I couldn't decide which one of them was better than the other. And speaking of Useful Railway, my favorite scene had to be the slow motion crash because I thought it was hilarious. And years ago, it was used as a meme. In fact, I made one on my channel, but I was too late for the party. But I don't care because I only made it for fun. But what's sad about Rex is that he doesn't have a wooden railway model like the other two in the CGI series. Why is that? But since Wooden Railway has come back this year, here's hoping that will happen. Now let me know in the comments section on which Arlesdale Railway engines you like the best. Do you agree with my list, or do you have your own personal preference? And while I am thankful that the Arlesdale Railway was finally introduced in the TV series, but I still wish we get to see more of Mike, Bert, and Rex, as well as TV series introductions of Frank, Jock, and a few others. Oh, and maybe add in some brand new ones into the mix just for kicks. As for my next top 5, I'm going to be talking about the animals on Sodor, so stay tuned for that. This is Trevor Davis, signing off.